This podcast is a proud member of the Unidentified Network.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in color, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithm really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we can text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the Track Extra. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs, and welcome to another episode of On the Track Extra. For those of you who don't know, it's a show that goes out twice a week, on the track on Saturday afternoons for about half an hour, and on the Track Extra on Wednesday evenings for about half of that. But things are not always going to plan, and this episode is considerably longer than most episodes of On the Track Extra. However, I found it so interesting when we filmed it, I decided it was better that it go out sooner rather than later, and if it had to wait until the current series that we're doing with Richard Freeman was over, it would have been later rather than sooner. So, I'm very, very pleased to introduce you to the Centre for Fortean Zoology's representative in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, Jakub Roček, who has been studying brown bears in both countries for a long time in what he calls the Ursos Arctos project. It's lovely to meet you at last.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. As a long time fan of the CFZ.
Well, it's lovely to have you here because I'm fascinated with the work you're doing with the bears. So, to start off with, can you tell me a bit about the Ursos Arctos project?
Yes, it all began in the summer of 2021. There was an incident in Slovakia, and a bear attacked a man, and the man was killed. So I took interest in it. I've been interested in zoology and bears for my whole life. I wanted to know what happened, how to prevent these events, how to coexist with these magnificent creatures, and have an adventure of my lifetime in this great wilderness in Slovakia. I always imagined wilderness as a safari in Africa, but I found it. My neighbors, they've got wolves, bears, European wildcats. I have seen 3 of them in single week, which is very rare. And European bison in the area of borders with Ukraine, lynx, eagles. Such a lovely place with great biodiversity.
One doesn't think of such wide biodiversity in modern Europe. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Slovakia is very mountainous state, so it preserved lots of the wilderness and forests. We in Czech Republic didn't have such luck. Most of our landscape is cultural fields, the forests have been cut down, most of them. We lost the wilderness, but in Slovakia it is preserved and wonderfully.
How fantastic. So where you live in the Czech Republic, don't you?
Yes, Czech Republic.
When did, because bears are supposed to be extinct in the Czech Republic, aren't they?
Yeah. They are transient. They move to us from Slovakia and back. We have about 1 to 3 or 5 bears, not more. The landscape isn't suited for them. It's too noisy. It's too much civilized. They need peace, which they cannot find here. There have been also an incident near Prague, near Stará Boleslav, where someone, and I think it was a hunter and a fisherman, saw a bear, but no one could have proven it was really a bear. Most people think they saw a wild boar. It's very far from any known bear territories. But for most part, these bears are on the border with Slovakia.
So do they come over from Slovakia every year?
Yeah. There been one project in Beskid, I believe, and they had trail camps right there, and they took photos and videos of various carnivores, and it included 2 bears, I believe, one male and one female.
That's fantastic. When were they extirpated from the Czech Republic?
I'm not sure actually. I have a book called Bears in Šumava, and historically I unfortunately don't remember when. I would have to look to be sure.
I had a look to see if I could find out when brown bears were extirpated from what was then Bohemia and is now the Czech Republic, and I found, much to my surprise, it was way back in the 17th century. That was something I was not expecting. If you'd asked me, I was going to say it was sometime round about World War II. Do you think there's any chance that they may become native to the Czech Republic once again, or is it too built up and too influenced by humans?
I think so, but not in large numbers. They do not have too much space right here, but I guess if the poachers do not hunt them, we might have some bears in near future.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because let's face it, a lot of Europe, Western and Central Europe, is being rewilded. Naturally, like wolves are back everywhere. And
yeah. We have lots of wolf packs right here. It's a big theme right here. They are returning, which is great.
I think that's fantastic. So, what have you been studying in Slovakia? Tell me about the research you've been doing with them.
So, I've been trying to find some bears which proved to be quite a problem from the beginning. It took me about 1 year to see a bear. And my research, I'm interested in their numbers, how many bears there are, about the mortality and natality, how much bears are being born. It all began in Kanianka town near Previdza. I had a meeting right there with my friend and colleague Milan Hepner, who lives there, and I left the town, went to the forest, where the forest borders many buildings and garages. I went about 70 meters into the forest, and there were dense bushes. I went to them, and out of a sudden, something large was running in the bushes. Somehow heavy breathing and puffing, and clearly it was a plantigrade. I believe that it was my first meeting with a bear in Slovakia. Then I spent many days in the field, but unfortunately I haven't seen a single bear. There have been red deer, roe deer, fallow deer, wild boar, and so on, but not a single bear. And if you know the documentaries, when they try to find an animal and they find it in the end, on the last while of the show, it was just like it. The last day of my expedition, I've been there for about 10 days, and I went with my friend Milan for a walk, very early morning, just before 5 a.m. And he saw a bear running across the meadow.
Oh, how lovely.
I have been collecting trail cams, so I've been a few steps back and haven't seen a glimpse of the bear. So my first expedition, I haven't seen a bear, I haven't seen a track, and trail cams also nothing. Then next year I returned. This time I lived in Itranské Pravno, I believe, which is nearby, just right to the place where there should be bears. And this time it was much more interesting. I've used an application called iNaturalist, where users upload photos of animals and plants and so on. And I found a place called Shutovo. It's a village near Martin town. I got there, and it was wonderful. Immediately after I got out of the car, there was an old man riding on a motorcycle, and he asked me why I'm there. So I told him I'm looking for bears, and he replied, "Bears there everywhere here." So I immediately knew I'm in the right place. So I went around, and I came to a stream, and there it began. I found tracks, multiple tracks of multiple specimens, and it was just magnificent seeing these giant tracks right there. They use streams sometimes as they roads are safe there and have plenty of water. I have some of the cast right here. This one is of a large male bear. I guess about 200 kilograms. It was a great bear.
God.
That's the front foot, by the way. Is a hind foot of the smaller one, a female. And last but not least, this is her cup. Yeah.
Wow.
The print of a small bear. It slipped down for a moment, but so it should be smaller, but this is it. Small brown bear's food. Then I came uphill and met hunters. One of them took me to a place where we could watch the wildlife, to the watchtower. First, we have seen a red fox, Vulpes vulpes, and then after, I don't know, half an hour, something appeared on a meadow, on a hill. It is called Šutovská epigenésia, but I called it Medvědí hůrka, a bear hill. It was a large dark spot and three smaller ones. And it was immediately clear that these are not deer, these are not boars, they are definitely bears. They truly were. I zoomed on them, and it was a mother bear and three cubs, quite possibly about 2 to 3 years of age. They've been magnificent. They were grazing on the grass. The cubs have been playing around. The weather wasn't so nice. It was raining. By the way, during these rainy bad days are the bears the most active. During night, morning, and evening, and the bad days. They stayed for a while, about 10 to 15 minutes, and returned to their mountain where they have a den. It was magnificent. I never felt anything such intense before. So I got some photographs. Then I immediately contacted my friend Milan, and we returned there the next day. The weather was very nice, very sunny, which is what I need with my camera. And they came nearly at the same time as the previous day, around 7 p.m. The same female and three cubs. We've been around 100 meters away from them, and this time it was the time of the bear rutting season. So bears, the males come from the hills down to the valleys, and they try to find a female, and sometimes they do kill the cubs, infanticide. So all the bears have been quite cautious. All of a sudden, the female stood on her hind legs, was looking all around, looked very stressed, and then they ran to the forest very quickly. They are very fast runners. very, very fast, agile. They could travel in very rough terrain. So this was my second meeting with a brown bear, and I sort of fell in love with this place, as it will be always the place where I have seen these magnificent creatures for the first time. So since then, I have been returning there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode, but it's not it for our conversation with Jakub about his fascinating encounters with bears. We'll be back next Wednesday in the next episode of On the Track Extra with the rest of our conversation. See you then.